welcome back to my channel and happy new year for 2019. Now I ended last year with the grocery haul and I'm going to start the year with the grocery haul as well. This grocery haul is very much zero waste, feeding my family on a budget and making sure that I have my freezer stocked with plenty of items that I can pull out and meal plan from. And yeah, generally if you watch my channel, the way I tend to cook and budget. This month particularly, because I know so many of you will be doing no spend January, trying to lower that food bill and generally cut costs in the kitchen, I want to make it very focused on how I tend to do that and put it into practice for my family of 7. So there will be a mini series coming up on Monday. Let me know if there's anything else that you would like to see within those videos and I'll make sure to try my best to answer any of those questions. But anyway, I'm going to get cracking and show you what I picked up from the supermarkets and basically what I've got today. I know that I've got at least 30 meals that I can pull out from the freezer and integrate that into my weekly meal plan as well. So I'm going to get cracking and show you what I picked up. Okay, so everything you see here is all of the meat. So I'm just going to go through that super quick so I can get back into the freezer and in the fridge, etc. So with this, I just had Marks and Spencer's and Asda yesterday, ever so quick, probably just half an hour. And then Tesco's was today with the children. So a few other bits I've picked up. I have jotted down just in my little notebook, so not a full meal plan, but 30 meal ideas that I'll use with these items. Now, I'm not necessarily going to do this 30 days consecutively. In fact, I know I definitely am not going to, but I've run my freezer completely down and it's just going to give me definitely 30 meals in my freezer. Everything's going to be cut up, portioned up and put into the freezer, and then I'll add it to my freezer itinerary. So I'll go more in depth into other videos that I'm doing this month, but anyway, going to get cracking first of all. So I've got 2 whole chickens here. They were Marks and Spencer's, £3.50 before and they were down to £1.75. Date wise, they had 2 days on them. It's just purely down to the timing, the time of year. So obviously a lot of people are going for big joints of meat and that is why I have quite a few things that have been reduced. As long as there's a good date on them, I will freeze them. It's no different than buying it off the shelf. So you may as well take advantage of those items. So they are whole chickens, but they are definitely small. So for me, for our family, for a roast, that's not really sufficient. So with the first one, I have put down that I will probably use it for a curry. And then for the second one, I'm going to strip it all down, cook it up and do a chicken noodle sweet corn soup. And then after, I will also make a stock with all of the bones and the carcasses. If you've watched my videos, you'll have seen me do that before anyway. But I always do that, so we're getting to use every little bit of the chicken. I also think with a little bit of the shredded chicken, I'll make it almost like a vegetarian meal. And I'll do chicken mushroom risotto with the stock. That'll be absolutely beautiful. So that would be 3 meals out of those. That's fairly cheap. On to the chicken fillets. So this grocery haul was done before dinner time, so ideally it would have been done and filmed, but yeah, that was never going to happen with the kids. So you will see here, this was actually 10 single fillets and that was £12.49. I got that from the butcher section in Tesco's. I really like going to the Asian supermarket and getting about 20 of those, or sometimes I get them in meat packs in the butchers. So tomorrow, it just happens to be our Asian supermarket. The good one is a good 15 miles away. So the children are going to the trampoline park, so I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And I'm going to get 20 fillets. And out of all those meals, so I have already used 4 for today's dinner, so I'll actually insert that for you, but you'll have seen that before. And basically that's mozzarella stuffed chicken. So that was 5 fillets used. And then the other 5 fillets I am going to use for, that will be a fake away night. So that will either be a Nando's or Wagamama's katsu curry. So I always like to ask the kids what one they fancy. So that is what we'll use those 5 for. Then with the pack of 20 that I'm getting tomorrow, they're usually £18. Sometimes it varies, but I expect about £18. I pick those up tomorrow and I'm going to try and get a lot more out of it. So these would be more of my one pot type meals. So obviously just per fillet, you're working out really, really cheap. They're under £1 for 20. And even with these, that's £1.20. They're good full fillets. And if I'm buying chicken fillets, I always look for the ones that aren't pumped full of water. So my 6th meal idea with all the chicken I'm going to pick up tomorrow, I will use 3 of the fillets and I will make a Diet Coke chicken. Another 3 I will make probably like a chicken chorizo bake, and that will have chorizo in it as meat as well. And then another 3 I will do either like a chicken casserole or a chicken stew. And then I will use 4 fillets, and that will be probably a Chinese, so that will be like one of their fakeaways that they like to have. So every week they have a fakeaway if you watch my meal ideas, and I will ask them which one they want. So usually it'll take a good 4 fillets, and that will either be our chili chicken or sweet and sour or whatever, Szechuan chicken, whatever they fancy. Then the 10th, 11th and 12th, so these would actually be more catered towards the kids. Sometimes we have them, but you'll have seen before I make popcorn chicken goujons. So they're usually done the Rice Krispie or the cornflakes, either or. If I have time, I would like to just get those done and put into the freezer. So that would be really good ones for when the kids are eating on their own, if me and Alistair are going out or something like that. Then, so I want to get this chicken away before I even film more, to be honest. Okay, so that's the chicken put back in the freezer. So with the salmon, that was reduced in Asda, and I had a good date on it, and it was originally 4 and it's down to 2 pounds. So I thought that would be a really good one just to do for the children on their own. So something like, what did I put? A creamy smoked pasta bake. So I'm not really fussed on salmon, I've said it before, but I make sure that the kids get plenty of seafood and fish. So if I can get away with having a separate dinner, or it's a night where me and Alistair are having a date night, that is what I will give them. Then we got some sausages. So if I'm doing a dinner that's fully just sausages and mash or something like that, I'll always go to the butcher's. But if I'm doing something that has sausages in it, I don't mind these type of sausages. So these are Tesco Finest. They were on offer, I think £2.50, and they're pork apple sausages, and they're quite nice. I've had them before. So for that dinner, that will just be a sausage pasta bake, or like a little cowboy dinner that I make sometimes for the kids. So that will definitely be one that I can make out of that. Then next on to Tesco's, just a 3 for 2, so £10 for, you can pick your 3 meats. Ideally I would have just got another mince, because I know over a month we definitely always have a mince type dish. So 750 grams I've went for. It is the 15% fat, so if I want to just cook mince mainly on its own, I will go for less than that. 15% fat is perfect for burgers, all those kind of things, so because it just doesn't dry out. So with those, I have planned that 750 will be for the full family, so and we would need all that. That would be a nacho night, so that could be one of their fakeaways. It could be an easy bolognese, millions of things you can do with mince. So to know I've got mince in the freezer. Then meatballs, so I will probably do those. I'm sick kind of the tomato sauce they always want, so I'll either do it as the tagine or maybe meatballs and gravy for them some night, but we'll all have that again as a family. And then 2 packs of the bacon, so it's 20 rashers you're getting. I definitely would need a lot more bacon during the month, you know, for lunches and different things, but with this bacon we can make this kind of a lighter type dinner on the meat front. So we could do, maybe I do like loaded potatoes, and then we could have it with a lot of vegetable type sides. I could do a fry up dinner and just have it with like bacon and things. So it just really depends, but I know I've got 20 rashers of bacon in the freezer. Then pancetta, this is what I wrapped my chicken in this evening. So in littles, that just happened to be what was it reduced down to? 30% off, so it was just a bit cheaper there, £1.50, and 10th of January. So just is because, again, the time of year, overbuying and all the rest. I wrapped that round the 5 chicken breasts that I used earlier, but with the rest of the pancetta, I will make that a lighter meat dinner. So that'll probably be something like almost a veggie omelette with just some of that snipped through for a bit of the flavouring, and we'll all take omelettes or quesadillas or something. So then on to the big joints. Again, it's just the festive period. These have very good dates on it. It's the 9th of January. I'm actually filming on the 2nd of January, and that was £14.27 for the full pack there, which is a good 2.6 kilograms. That's your large roasting joint. And yeah, that would be double the price, and we do eat joints like that frequently. And if I'm doing joints, I always, as you'll see from my meals of the week, well over a year, I always make other meals from it. So I will use that one joint that costs £15 to make 4 or 5 different dishes. What I've got down is we will use a good bit of it definitely for a roast beef dinner, and that'll be a full weekend roast dinner. So I do wee roast dinners during the week, but I try and keep them healthier, so not Yorkshire puddings and things like that. But we will make it, just make sure it goes far enough by doing a full roast dinner with all the trimmings and maybe some extra side vegetable type dishes. Then haven't had a beef stroganoff in a while, so I will do obviously what I'm taking off for a roasting joint, I will then use the rest of it for a beef stroganoff or else a creamy peppered beef. So that will be 2 dishes. Then I will make a lighter on the meat front dish, and that will be an open beef drip sandwich and have it with a salad. We love it. There's actually one of my favourite places we go to eat that at lunch. So all the children love that, and it's a good way of getting a lot of the salad into them as well. Another part then, so I would cook a good portion of that, and then I would have it shredded, and that will go into like a cottage pie or maybe a sweet potato topping on it, so for something a bit different. It could even just stay as a freezer meal. And then sometimes I make a little Cornish pasty. So like I said, it would be too much to just be having beef, although we do tend to have a good 5 or 6 variations on meat and have it quite a lot anyway. But this will be over 2 months, and it just means we've got them stored in the freezer. Then, yeah, so Cornish pasties would be another one of them. And this is, like I said, a rough outlay. I will just tweak it and see what I want to have every single week. Then for this little mini top side, and it was £5.3. And yeah, so that's half price again. So for this, that would actually be fine for a roast. You could get quite a bit out of that. You wouldn't if it was adults all eating, but obviously I have got just the 5 young children. But we're going to use this for. I asked Alistair, what do you fancy with that? And he said, why don't you just hold on to it to around Valentine's Day? And we do head out on Valentine's, not the actual night, but yeah, so we'll have a date night in on Valentine's, and I will do a beef Wellington just with the normal pastry, and I'll do it with maybe something like Dauphinoise potatoes and things like that. So it's handy to have that and stick it in the freezer. Then this really huge gammon joint here. If you watch my videos, I do love gammon ham, and I have a particular way that I do like to cook it. So what have we got down for the gammon? Yep, so it was £15, and I will do typically again a roast dinner, and then again one of those are just shred. So cook for the roast dinner, the rest will be nice and shredded, and I'll have it with like salad, chips, like an open sandwich, even a brioche bun or something. Then one of my favourite soups is minestrone soup, and I would just load it up with loads and loads of veg and pasta. Definitely have done that in meals of the week, you can check that up. But ham through it gives it such a deep flavour. And then I call it posh mac and cheese. Well, I think the kids maybe called it that one time. And so basically it's mac and cheese, but I put through it a lot of ham and leeks, and I'll use up a lot of vegetables, celery and things as well. And then for the other, I'll have a think, either a pie or a bake, but maybe I'll try a new wee recipe with something with ham. So for all that meat, as you can see, it came to £85.50. We've got 30 dishes out of it there. So that is working out as £2.85 per dish. There'll be some times when obviously it's like £6 per dish, other times when it's so little, the likes of the soup there, where it's £1 for the main dish. So it's equaling out really good value. And then I'll just pop along and show you what other bits and pieces that I picked up for the store cupboard. And then I'm just going to go on to these other little bits and pieces that I'll talk you through. Should I actually said, so obviously I go through the freezer as well and see what I've got. I've completely run my freezer down. I always do that. I think I maybe did a video in October time and how I use up all my freezer meals so I make space for Christmas. And then I kind of see this as another quarter of still all the winter and batch cooking things. So I like it completely clear, both freezers. And yeah, so there's not too much to use up anyway, but this will give me at least another 5 meals. So I'll let you see what I've got in. So I've got loads of cheese and loads of cream left from Christmas, and that is because I didn't make the extra pudding I was going to make. I just didn't need it. And cheese, we've always got too much cheese, so I'm going to make like a phyllo tart. Pizzas is a good one for their fake away because all I've got to do is make the dough bases, and we'll use up tons of cheese, and we've always got tomato and passata and things in. Loads of tins of tuna, and that is one I will do for the children. I don't like tuna, so tuna pasta bake for them. And then we've got prawns in the freezer, so I will do a prawn stir fry for everyone, and usually a sticky teriyaki one everyone likes. And then with some of the cream, I think I'll actually do this for lunch tomorrow, a creamy vegetable soup or a leek and potato, maybe even both. And I've got loads and loads of potatoes left over from Christmas because I got a huge sack. It's about 20 kilograms, and because it's stored really well, they last you a good month. And then all I've got to do is, once I decide which days I'm doing the meals on, I would just go out. I like to get my fruit and my veg fresh every kind of other day, and the same with my dairy. So that is all I'm going to need to add. I always keep my stocks of my rice and my pasta grains, pulses, everything like that is completely stocked up. So I'll probably cover that in a video on what I kind of have in my pantry or cupboards and things like that. Anyway, so let's get on. What else did I pick up? So I like these sparkling waters from Tesco's, £3-4. I have quite a few in the garage anyway, but I picked up a few more. Then this dilute, this is what the kids have with their dinner any other time of the day. It's milk or water, and that was £1, and that's obviously the no added sugar. I could probably do with picking up another one of those. And then with the passata, these were half price in Tesco's at the minute, so I picked up 4 of those. I've got a good few in the cupboard, but that is good for obviously my Diet Coke chicken, all the nachos, all the mince type dishes. Sure, you need them for everything. Then I needed, well, I didn't actually, I've got a few of these, but these are good. These are the type that I like in the purees, and that's the Tesco one. They were 2 for 90p, so it was worthwhile. It takes no room, so I just picked those up. Then for the easy little things, if I'm doing like a pesto pasta for dinner, I will always just make the pesto, and I've got plenty of pine nuts in. But if I'm doing sandwiches during the day or a little bit of pasta on the side with pizza for kids, I just use that, because once you open it, it's fine for 2 weeks. That was half price, and I think that was something like £1.15 in Tesco, so I thought it was worth putting in the cupboard. And then this is a really good cheap one. You'll have seen my meals of the week. I do always cook the curries from scratch, but I'm not adverse to using things like this. Sometimes, if you just don't have a chance, just putting your meat in the oven or just doing a big vegetable curry, this is really good, this particular paste. Also, you can get it in a huge big bucket in the Asian supermarket, but because I do like cooking along from scratch, I don't get it. It's not economic for us. But this is the, what is it? It's the primacy one. But you basically go to the Asian supermarkets, they all look exactly the same, and this is brilliant. It is £1.79, but you can get it in like big, huge buckets, all different sizes, and it's so cheap when you buy it in bulk. Then all I needed fruit wise, and this is just basically for tomorrow morning, bananas and oranges, and then I'll do all the fruit and veg tomorrow. Onions, £1 for chopped onions. Do you know, I just find them so convenient. I've got loads of the normal onions in the cupboard, but if I want to be really quick for an omelette, that is what I reach for. I'm laughing because I must have put this here so I remembered about it, but it hardly matters. But when I went to Marks and Spencer's and got the little chickens, they had fine green beans. We had those with tea tonight, and they were £2, reduced down to 50p. And just because I was using it this evening, it totally made sense. That was the veg I was going to put on the side. Then Nescafe Gold, the double chocolate mochas. I take those every day. If I'm not at the coffee shop, I have one a day. They were £1.50. They're usually £2.50, but usually one of the supermarkets will be doing them on offer. So when I do see them, I like to stock up on a few. So 4 of those will do me for most of the month, I would say. Then we don't need any chocolate, any biscuits, anything like that really eminently, obviously after Christmas, but obviously because these are seasonal, these were down to £1.50. And no, £2 I think actually, £2 for the McVitie's Family Circle. And then this shortbread, which is actually quite nice, was down to £1.50 in the tin. So I thought that was really good value. I thought, let's pick it up. We've got until, I think it was September for the biscuits and July for the shortbread. So it's really good to keep, just store away. Sorry, yeah, I just checked. They were definitely £2 and they were £1.50 for the shortbread. And they had loads and loads on the shelf, so they probably will continue to have them for a few days yet. Then on to, again, little things just to store away. We have overload and crackers. So these have a good date on them again. So end of May, and they were down to £1. And just all the little savoury favourites. Good for packed lunches. And that is what I picked up for a few things here, is for the kids' packed lunches when they're back next week. These hobnobs, well, they weren't full price, they were on special offer, half price. And yeah, they're about 65p or something. They're more for Alistair. And then this, we actually got one of these at Christmas. I think they were about £2. I just picked up another one, and it's got until September. So I will put that in the big treat box. And the same with things like these. These are little Christmas men jelly beans, and they were down to 50p. First time I've seen these. These were their full price, which I think was £1, and 6 button bites. And I just thought maybe the kids would enjoy it. Shortcake biscuit filled with milk chocolate and milk chocolate beans. So I thought they were worthwhile picking up. Then these tortilla trees, so they're just tortilla chips, but they're in the shape of Christmas trees. And we got these, it was Christmas Eve. We asked the kids, what do you want, you know, as your dinner before all the Christmas dinners? And they said nachos as usual. And we had these, and they said, oh, I want to have Christmas tree tortillas every time we have nachos. So Went back and they're 56p, so they're half price at the minute, and they're actually really nice, and because they're actually taller you can get loads of your nachos on it. So I actually picked up about 6, so there's a really good date on it, but they usually have nachos at least once a month, so I thought let's just get them for them and they can go in my utility store. Then muffins, I just picked those up there for tomorrow morning with scrambled eggs for them anyway. They were £1 for 8 muffins. Some little items of bread that need to go in the freezer straight away. These pita pockets, whole wheat pita pockets, 28p. They were Asda. And so are these. These are soda bread. You've got 4 there. They were down to 34p. They are the date of, I think, today, so I need to get those in the freezer straight away. And then this bread, it was down to 17p, and this is actually, I'm going to process that up straight away and store it in a Ziploc bag, and that will be for my breadcrumbs and things like that, because I've used all my breadcrumbs that were stored in the freezer over Christmas in stuffing and sausage rolls and things like that. Then these little mini gingerbread men, they were down to 50p. They're just those little packs inside, so you get 8 of them, and the same as the mini penguins. They were actually all out of them, or I would have got a few more, so that's really good value. They're down to 50p, and it's obviously just because they're seasonal again. They won't mind, and I thought I'll put them in their little box for their like lunches or treats and things like that. So what is that? So it's 24 for £1.50, so probably about 6p per pack. So that's really good value. If they'd more, I would have picked up more, so I'll maybe have a wee look. That is just all those tortilla crisps. Yeah, so that is basically everything, I think so anyway. But in total, obviously the meat came to about £85, including the chicken I'm going to pick up tomorrow. All these other bits and bobs, so the total came to 119, and that is everything that I need for my store cupboard. Little bits and pieces that won't even be used right now, and all the meat with all those dishes that I showed you. They're just suggestions. Obviously, if you watch my meals of the week videos, you'll see in what kind of order I use them and all the rest. So hopefully you enjoyed the video and got a little bit of inspiration, and maybe you'll go out and look for some offers over the festive period here as well. So do make sure to leave a comment down below if there's anything that you would like me to cover in the meal planning and food style videos this month. But as always, thank you very much for watching, guys, and Happy New Year.